All right, so I'm Jason Yarusi of Yarusi Holdings, back today talking about how to vet a multifamily sponsor. So again, thank you so much for joining us. Each and every week, we love to bring you new topics about the multifamily investing space. Today, we're talking about how to vet a multifamily sponsor here. So go back, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure to rewatch this here so you can make the best choice forward when you seek to invest passively into a multifamily syndication. So typically there's two roles in a real estate syndication. You have the sponsor, the general partner, and then you have the limited partners or the passive investors in the deal. The sponsor is the person who's responsible for, of course, putting together the project, presenting the project, packaging together the team, the resources, closing on the property, and then operating the property after closing. So the limited investor, their sole responsibility is they are providing investment into a common entity to seek a return or seek an expected profit from the expectations of others, and those others being the sponsor or the operator. So when you come into an opportunity here, you want to be able to ask questions of that sponsor, of that operator, to make sure that you are fully clear on who they are, how they plan to operate this business, how they plan to meet the returns that they've now placed in this business, and a little bit about their background to make sure it's meeting the needs and the goals of you as an investor. Of course, make sure you hit that follow button, give us a subscribe, give us a review here so you can be alerted. Hit us in the comments here. We'd love to hear more feedback. If there's more topics you want us to cover in the future, make sure you dive in. So, okay, let's dive in. What are some of those questions here that you should be asking a multifamily sponsor? Well, one is, what is your background in the multifamily space or in the real estate space in general? And what is going to put you in the best position to be able to succeed with this opportunity? Typically, a quick narrative would be that you want someone who is going to be committed to this project, not someone who has found this as a interesting opportunity that you want to try out at your expense. And noting that these opportunities are typically liquid investments for the source of a couple years, 3 to 7 years on average here, you want to make sure that they are not fly-by-night investors who are just jumping into the space and potentially a year from now will find themselves into another space like Forex or crypto or something else that just seems exciting at the time. So you want to see that they have a track record, they have performed before, they have shown up before, and they're going to be shown up to you. That's going to lead into the track record. What is their track record in multifamily syndication? And there's two parts here. It's the first track record of being able to commit and close, right? So commit to an obligation, an expectation, and carry through that obligation. Next would be the ability to take that transaction, perform on the business plan, and then sell it in the future in that timeline. Now, noting, like we said prior, if some of these investments are a 3 to 7 year horizon and that investor is maybe 1 or 2 years in, maybe they have not had any projects full cycle. Well, what can they talk to that current business plan on those opportunities that speaks to that what they're doing is working accordingly? How are the team structured? Is it just them running the entire deal? Are they going to manage it themselves? Who is going to be the team both internally and externally that's going to help this investment forward? What area and why are they investing in this area? How well do they know this area? Do they live here? Do they have people here? Do they have boots in the ground? What has drawn them to this investment? What type of asset class is this investment? And what property class is this investment? So there's the two parts here. What is the market class? So are they in an A area, a B area, a C area, a D area? And as you can imagine, that the lower it goes from A down, the worse the area is. And what condition is the building in? Have they taken a deal full cycle? That's going to talk back to their track record. Sometimes early in the process, maybe they have not, but what is going to put them in the best position to make sure they're going to be able to succeed on the type of investments here that now they are saying can and will be done? Do you have any comparison on other projects of the offering that you presented and the actual results of that project? Right, so maybe they haven't taken a full cycle, but maybe they're into a couple years into the business plan. They can talk to how they are performing based on the actuals compared to their pro forma. How well do they know this market that they're investing in? That could be a great thing, right? We talk about the market cycle, the asset class, but how well do they know this market? Is their first entry into this market? Have they now born and raised that they go to college into this market? Of the investors that are investing with them, how many investors are there? And do they have repeat investors? Do they have investors that will be in and have been into multiple investments with them? The business plan. Typically here, do they have a hold plan? Like, what is their hold period? Is there an expectation of when your money will be returned and how it will be returned? What is the stage of distributions? Do distributions happen monthly, quarterly? Will they be accrued in the beginning? So some of these questions can be very beneficial to you and your plan going forward. How do taxes work, and how can that benefit me as a passive investor ultimately as a go forward to be able to work accordingly with you as the operator and your business plan? Best one here, do you put your own money into these deals? Noting that you're presenting something that you're saying is a great investment. Are you in fact investing alongside your passive investors here? And lastly, what is the structure of this project? Is there a preferred return? Is there a revenue split after that preferred return? Is this a cash on cash investment? Or is this a return on capital investment here where typically once the preferred return is met, there's a return of capital that happens next within this investment? So those are some of the essential questions that you can dive into to make sure that you fully understand the investment, and also that you're fully aligned with that investor to make sure that you are getting the best project presented to you and you fully understand what you are investing into. So of course, like we hear, make sure you hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, come back. We love your questions. We love your feedback. We love your talk track. We can't wait to see you going forward. I am Jason Yarusi of Yarusi Holdings, talking on behalf of today's webinar covering how to vet a multifamily syndication sponsor. Let's do this.